Hi, good evening. I am back to tell you the English translation of the eternal love that is compared to Romeo and Juliet. This is the Mexican love story of a warrior and a princess. So this figure is very iconic. A lot of people recognizes it by how and know the legend behind it of how the warrior's love dies, and how he sets her on top of a hill and watches over her for all eternity. So I will start from the beginning. This is the story of the princess that was the daughter of the chief, the only daughter, and she was beautiful and she was very kind. And Popocatépetl was a warrior that fell in love with her. She fell in love with him, and they professed eternal love for each other. Then Popocatépetl, who was called Popo for short, went and asked Ixtas. Her name is Ixtacihuatl, and it's for short. They would call her Ixta. And Popo went to ask for her hand in marriage and went to the chief, and the chief said he would grant his daughter's hand in marriage once he went to war, because there was a war developed and he had to go defend their people. So the father, the chief, sent Popo to war, and he said that if he came back victorious, then would come back and marry his daughter. So Popocatépetl left with the hope to be back to marry his true love, and she also was anxious to have him come back, but yet she worried because it was war and it was dangerous. So Popocatépetl left, and he was gone for months and months, and she began to worry. There was another warrior who was jealous of Popo because he too loved and wanted Ixta for his to be his bride. So that other warrior told Ixta that Popocatépetl had been killed at war. Ixta could not believe it, and she was torn, and she did not want to live without him. So she went and she died. She went by herself, and then she died of sadness because she would not see her beloved Popo. When Popocatépetl came back shortly after that happened, he found his bride laying on a table, surrounded by people mourning her. He took her into his arms and took her to the top of the hill and laid her there to guard over her, and did not want to leave her side. They both stayed there for days and days, and then weeks, and then it began to snow. So both Ixta and Popo were covered in snow. And so in the back, you can see that Ixta's body was laying flat, and she got covered with the snow. So when you drive or get on the bus and go from Mexico City to Puebla on that highway, you have a good stretch of maybe, I don't know, 15-20 minutes or so, that you can see the silhouette of the two volcanoes still to this day. And Popo's volcano, which is a pointy volcano, still smokes, and people say Popo is still guarding his love, his eternal love. And it's really beautiful to go by there. Each time I go by, when we drive by there, either in a car or on the bus, when I get on the bus from the airport to come to Puebla, which is a 2 hour drive. It is just amazing to watch. So I have taken many pictures, but I could not find them for the life of me. I looked through all my other pictures and I could not find the ones that I took. I changed telephones, so I might have lost some of them. But anyway, that is the story, which is an iconic symbol. You'll see this symbol in many homes. Many almanacs have them. It's an iconic symbol, and it is on calendars, on blankets, on shirts, on frames. I have it here, and then I have that big one. I don't know if you can see it, but it's up there. I turned off the light so I wouldn't reflect the the lights from the one I have, but there's the picture that I took. So it's the warrior, the Aztec warrior carrying the love of his life, where he takes her to the mountain. Um, so that is one of the legends of this eternal love of this couple, and on how it is really popular in Mexico, and it's related to the story, the love story of a warrior, an Aztec warrior, and an Aztec princess, and how they could not live without each other, and so they both died, and now they have been made eternal because the symbol, the volcanoes are there, and the torch, that volcano continues to smoke. Sometimes it spews lava and people have to move. One year when I was going to go to Puebla, the volcano was really active, and the news said that the airplanes could not fly because all the ash was in the air and that would damage um, the motors on airplanes. It finally settled, and I did go, and my friends took me to go up to Puebla, to the from Puebla, to climb as far as we were allowed to see the volcano, and we could still see the rocks that had rolled down in the villages at the foot of the volcano, and those are the people that are asked to leave when it spews um, lava. So, but it was really amazing to get up close, because this is a volcano. This is a beautiful volcano that people, like I said, know about, have heard the love story, and if you haven't, well, now you know one version. There are many versions. I chose not to read the one in this book because the story is here, but it doesn't mention Popocatépetl. It just talks about Ixta. So the story is here, but I read it and I thought, oh, I'll do the version that I have. There's lots of versions of this story. The one I know is one of them. This this picture has the legend in English and the legend in Spanish, but it too it says, the legend says that in the beginning of the time when the Aztecs arrived to the valley of Anahuac, when the mountains had not yet reached their eternal form, a beautiful princess named Ixta was born in the Grand Tenochtitlan. She was a daughter of the emperor or grand master of the Mexicas, and Ixta was loved and admired, and many noblemen wanted to marry her, and this cruel one was the one that demanded Ixta's hand in marriage, but her heart belonged to the eagle warrior who she had professed eternal love to. Um, so um, so there was a battle, and then they went. They sent Popo to battle, and knowing that he was in danger, it says that in thinking of their impossible loves, she took her own life, and without imagining that Popo was returning triumphant when the mean guy told her that he had died. Popo took her lifeless body into his arms and went directly to the mountain, and he stayed bent over at her feet, thinking that the snow would awaken her from her sleep and they would be reunited alive. Since then, the volcano Ixtacihuatl, the sleeping woman, and Popo, the smoky mountain, are dominant figures or volcanoes close to the city of Mexico. The legend of the volcanoes is the known and recognized work of the famous Mexican artist Jesus Ilguera, the beautiful painter described by the beauty of every brushstroke. The legend of the romance of this couple was passed on by word of mouth since the pre-Columbian era. Since then, their death has become legendary, and it has turned into the magnificent volcanoes that the painter Jesus Hilguera has immortalized it by converting this symbol into Mexican heritage. So that's another version of the legend. So anyway, there is your Romeo and Juliet love story of eternal love of two Mexican Aztec couple that could not live without each other. So they preferred to not live, and so they are now though eternal in the fact that everybody remembers and reveres these volcanoes as people go through them and are in awe of seeing this wonderful backdrop to Mexico as you drive past Mexico from Mexico City to Puebla. So I hope you enjoyed this story. It's a short one, but it's one of my favorites. My tombstone has a sun and the moon and the eclipse because that's meaningful to me. I'll have to tell you that story later. And I also had a bench made that has both volcanoes, and it says eternal love. And on the other side, it says Santos and Maye, my nickname, Maye, today, tomorrow, and forever. And then on one side is the sun, and on the other side is the moon, because those symbols are significant. And I have a story to tell about that I will share later. So I hope you enjoyed the story. I'm going to say good night, and I will see you again tomorrow night. I'll do another story, and then I'll continue until the 5th of May with the Cinco de Mayo, the Battle of Puebla, the celebration of the victory that brought and continues to bring great pride to all the people that are descendants of Mexico. Okay, good night. Thank you. I hope if you didn't get to watch it tonight, you'll get to watch it whenever you have time. It'll be recorded on my Facebook, and I will upload it to YouTube. Okay, buenas noches. Nos vemos. Que descansen. I hope you have a good night's sleep. Rest up, and we'll see you tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Adios.